the grid, didn't he?
It lowered the interest rate.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, I'm real happy to hear that.
I forgot how much it was, like a quarter?
Hopefully it's just a start. The housing market really needs it. Especially for the young folks, boy.
Well, your health insurance trend this year is 12.5% increase.
What'd you say?
Whoa.
12.5?
Great.
I got some ugly things I'm dealing
On the commercial building insurance too.
Yep.
The little church up here, we gotta do the finance for the Whitehouse Methodist. Their building insurance doubled. I mean, it's for a small church, and like, you know, like that, it's like a crushing thing.
I know. Everybody's dealing with it. You know, about 5 years ago, I know we're fixing to start, but, let's start at the flat screen. The time is 12 noon, and I would like to call to order the City of Whitehouse Economic Development Corporation meeting. It's September the 18th, 2025. Susan, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, sir. Bob Breedlove, Charles Parker.
Here.
Arlene LaFleur.
Here.
John Chambers.
Here.
Maria Davenport.
Here.
Tom Trimble. And Jerry Akins.
Here.
Item B, the consent agenda, approval of the minutes of the EDC meeting on August 21st of 2025.
I move to approve.
Motion on the floor,
Second.
have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Let the record show that Tom Trimble has arrived.
Sorry I'm late.
It's all right. Item C is presentations. See nothing on the agenda, so nobody's presenting anything, unless you wanted to do a song and dance routine.
No.
Move right along. Agenda items under D. Number 1, discussion, consideration, and action on renewing the Whitehouse Chamber of Commerce at the same level as the City of Whitehouse.
Yes, Commissioners, last year, I believe it was last year, was the first year that the EDC decided that they did want to have a membership with the with the Chamber of Commerce, and we had decided to go ahead and go with the same level as the City of Whitehouse of the $5,000 for our sponsorship. It's time again for that renewal, and everyone here had indicated that they would like to look at that each year and decide of the level of sponsorship that you would be willing to do for the upcoming year. So that's what this is about.
Well, the way we're growing, I don't see how we cannot participate with all of our community organizations as much as possible. So I say we should.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. Chamber's been really active in the community here.
Is the city still at that $5,000 mark?
Yes.
Then I agree.
Okay, does somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we renew our Whitehouse Chamber of Commerce at the same level as the City of Whitehouse.
A second.
Have a motion and a second. Would there be any discussion? Since we're spending money, may I have a roll call?
Yes, sir. Give me 1 second. Okay. Charles Parker.
Yes.
Sorry. Ernie LaFleur.
Yes.
John Chambers.
Yes.
Maria Davenport.
Yes.
Tom Trimble.
Yes.
And Jerry Akins.
Yes.
Motion passes.
So the motion approved. Item number 2, discussion and update on the retail coach.
Okay, so I did put a report in your packets. As you know, at the last meeting, we renewed our contract with the retail coach for the second year. So we have officially begun our second year with them. We did a kickoff meeting with them where they refreshed all of our reports and data. I don't have that out on the website yet, but I will be getting that done trying to remember, what, did they say that they increased our, not the traffic count, but our trade area. They went out instead of, I think is it up to, I don't remember now, they basically doubled it for us. So our trade area has doubled. It's a positive thing. Our average income did dip just slightly, I guess in doing that. It made it dip a little, but it's still strong at over $106,000 per household. That's the average. And that helps show our prospects that our market is still strong and that we have the resources to support their businesses. The average age went down just a little bit too, but they were not concerned about the average age. It was still like I think 38 was the average age.
I was gonna try and pull up those reports real quick.
Okay, thank you. I should have put them in the actual presentation. I did not. I apologize for that.
So the area question, that's just the greater area that we influence,
Yes, where people would come from to shop in our town.
shop in our.
Did they do it by miles or time frame?
I believe it's by mile.
I think they actually do it based on cell phone data.
Yeah,
Cell phone, okay.
So they're looking at commutes. See if I can.
Given the major highways, I'm not surprised that reaches out maybe a little more than what they were saying initially. It's reaching more further south.
Can you scroll down on that, on the educational attainment? I'm a little curious about that. Okay. So 30, 40, 65% have some post-high school. Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah, they definitely extended it further south, I think,
yes.
so they went past Troop.
So they were very pleased with the data that came back. They didn't see any problems with this.
Okay.
Felt that it still gave us a strong marketable ability.
The dip in the average household income could come from expanding that trade
Trade
area.
area.
Exactly,
This is probably what's accounting for the dip.
right.
Yes.
If I had to guess, just based on the area that is now included and
Yeah.
wasn't prior to.
No, and sorry, I may not have made that very clear, but that's what I was trying to convey, that I think it's because of the expansion that dipped slightly, but it's still strong.
It could be, and it also could be up on the north side too, northwest side.
Do they think these changes will be helpful?
Yes, they do. And I've got, there's one meeting I'm trying to put together with them for a quick serve restaurant. There's a couple it's one company that represents two different quick serves, so we're trying to get a meeting together for them. We tried it this week, our schedules wouldn't align, so we're working on next week for that. And then there's one more possibility, what is that? It's more of a quick serve, but it's not what I would call fast food, that I have not had a chance to talk with Leslie about yet. I don't wanna say a lot, but there's one more that's a possibility. I just don't know if that's really a good fit for us. And when I can talk more freely about it, I can make you understand why. But so we have had some, recent, with this data, we've had some people reaching out and being more interested. And that also comes from the next point, that they recently attended the ICSC convention in Austin. Of course, they were always promoting us to retailers and restaurateurs. They're compiling those leads now. They finished that up just as I was leaving for Chicago. They were finishing up, and so they've got to compile all their leads and follow up on that. So hopefully this month I'll have an update on that I can bring to you next month. And then the last thing they were telling me about is they've reached out to a brokerage team out of Longview that they have been working with. They are showing some interest in coming here and possibly doing like a retail development, like a strip center or something of that nature. And so they were reaching out to them and will get us a meeting set up if that's something that pans out. But they are looking at other areas, not just Tyler and Dallas, for those brokers who might be interested in investing money in us.
Yay.
Activity is definitely picking up
Yes.
on the commercial side, for sure. Just in the past
Couple
4 to
of-
6 weeks,
I was
it
gonna
has
say just the
been
past few short weeks.
significantly picking
Why
up.
what do you attribute that to?
Who knows?
I'm still
Interest rate talk, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's, and a couple of them, or at least one of them has been somebody that's been holding property for decades, so I don't know.
I didn't even,
Move them off center, but
I didn't even mention
Yeah,
that. They came to us more on a planning and zoning kind of tack. That's what, because they're not looking to the EDC for anything. They're ready to go. So they were looking for, you know, that kind of development questions, you know, what can we build? How can we build it? But we've been in contact with them even this week, and they're,
And they already have the land? They
already have the
everything
land.
they need?
they have everything they need. They have the capital, they're just ready to go.
Meetings are kind of running together, so I'm gonna ask this question as vague as I can. Has there been any additional interest in the property beside Whataburger?
I don't remember what we've said. That
I'm
was
not sure. Let's talk later.
there, because we did talk about that briefly at our last
Right.
EDC meeting.
Okay.
I haven't heard
Didn't
any
know if that
since
was
then.
council
Since
or
then.
We have not
EDC.
heard anything
But
since.
since then, no, I haven't
Okay.
heard anything.
Yeah, with you, I
else.
can't keep track of what's
Yeah.
said
Right,
and
which
Sorry.
one is, yeah. And was it open session,
Yeah.
executive session, you know, those
Right.
type of things, yeah. So, that's all I have on the retail coach, unless y'all have more questions.
I'm still blown away by the 25,000 vehicle count through here daily. That's just astronomical. Love that.
That's a summer
That's a
traffic
summer
count.
traffic
That's not even
No, that's not school.
School traffic.
traffic.
No, it's closer to 50.
Holy
Wow.
smokes.
Unbelievable.
That's so good.
No wonder you can't get off Willingham. Just kidding.
Well, and if you think that's interesting, and I'll tie this in, when they really get geared up on widening Biloxi and Roan's Quarter, which both of those are gonna do, all that traffic, and they're gonna widen 346 as well. So everybody that's over there, that's been going that way, is now gonna drive through Whitehouse. Because the other alternative is to go 69. And if you try going down Broadway at first thing in the morning to get anywhere, you ain't getting there. And you can't get down Old Jacksonville either. So all of that traffic is gonna come through Whitehouse. It's until they're done with the
It's
roads.
mixed emotions,
So
isn't
you're
it?
gonna,
Yeah.
you're gonna
He's not
have
happy
about
about
a 3-4 year window here where the White House is just gonna be covered up. Cause I'm not even gonna be able to get out of my subdivision, and turn left. Or even go down Roan's Quarter. I'm gonna have to come back to White House to get to Tyler. So, I think everybody's gonna be in that boat. So, what does that mean for the retail? Well, more traffic count, more people driving through, more exposure to businesses, whatever else. So, and then once they see it and they know it's there, they'll come back. And so, see, I did a nice job with that, didn't I?
You did.
Tied it all together.
Good little segment.
There are gonna be a lot of people that are gonna be using Willingham down to the, to 346 and then down 110. A lot of us will be using that.
Yep.
Be careful what you ask for.
I'll wait.
I just want to see him bring down those trees at the corner of Biloxi and 346.
Oh, Have you been through there lately? They've taken quite a few.
The ones right next to the street,
Not right next to the street,
those are the
but
ones that's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna be interesting. Man, anyway, all right, I don't have anything else on the retail coach, but I think that does mean for them, and if you haven't pointed that out to the retail coach, I think that's very advisable to do so, because they need to understand the traffic count
Right.
is gonna flow.
right.
Everything from the north, northwest, this way, and northeast, whatever, everything that direction.
When do they have that scheduled tentatively?
They've already started it.
They've started it,
Yeah.
yay, so 10 years or so.
Yeah, they were, yeah, within a decade or two.
I hope it's not 2 decades.
So, anyway, all right, moving on to item number 3. Provide an update on FabTECH trade show.
Yes, I went to Chicago last week, had a fabulous time with Encore. I got to reach out to everyone and thank everyone. They were so very welcoming. Encore did a fabulous job. Sherry Crenshaw with y'all's office is super. She is a fabulous lady. Don't ever let her go. So yes, I did attend FabTECH last week. It's North America's largest metal forming and fabricating, welding, and finishing event. There were over 60,000 attendants of the show and 850,000 square feet of trade show floor. It was huge. I did not walk the entire floor. I walked 2 sections of it and had enough. I did attend with Encore and their Think Big, Think Texas team, and which brings in other Texas EDC professionals. So it was very nice to get to meet several people that I had never met before. Can we go to the next slide? Sorry. I wanted to let you know these first few slides. This is what I sent to Encore and what ran in the trade show booth. So we can flip through these first few ones. At some point, I would like to look at doing some sort of little video for us. I was the only one with the PowerPoint just because, we're so new. And most everyone else had some sort of video. So maybe at some point we'd be able to do that. But they liked my PowerPoint. They said it was a great start. So I think I did okay there. But the purpose, thank you. The purpose of this obviously was networking with other EDC professionals, learning about industry trade shows, and learning from those EDC professionals who have gone to them, and just of course promoting Whitehouse and our visibility. I was able to network there were 15 other EDC professionals. Most of them were from somewhere in this area, so it was nice. There was one gentleman from Big Spring. I got to talk with him. I believe he was the one who is now retiring, though, but I still have all of his contact information.
From Big Spring?
Big Spring.
What was his name?
I think his name was Mark Willis. I think he's
Oh,
the
yeah.
one. You know Mark?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. He was a great guy. So, the results is the team together. We in the trade booth we had a device that would collect anyone's information who came to speak with us, and what we were looking for were those decision makers, the CEOs, the presidents, some vice presidents in charge of relocation or something like that. That's who we were really reaching out to. And so as a team, we collected 31 leads, and over half of them are rated as an A. They rate them as A, B, and C, and they're rated as A leads, which are good quality leads. I just got those yesterday, I believe, so I've got to sift through them and see what might be good for us. A lot of what we talk to, they're wanting much larger spaces, much larger areas than what we can offer, but it was still good for me to get out and talk with them and just, get my people skills dusted off and talking with people. There was one company that I had the privilege to talk with, and he was looking for something a little smaller, and he was interested in Whitehouse, so I'm going to reach back out to him, see if anything that we have is something that they might be interested in. He needed a smaller space with the internal space and then some yard space, and gonna look around and see what we might have for him. And as I mentioned before, there were 15 EDC professionals there in Texas that I've networked with, and I have all their contact information. Everyone was very willing and welcoming to help me with anything I needed. They told me to reach out anytime I needed anything. So that was a great thing. The highlights was just being able to be a part of that and be the presence with Encore and Think Big, Think Texas. We were probably one of the more popular booths in our little section. One of the other cities is known as the dairy capital of Texas, and so the little cows that the city is going to do for the grand opening event, they had those. We couldn't keep those in stock. Everybody liked our pens. I took a huge bag of pens with me, and I came back with none. So we had, one thing I did want to do, because I know we need swag when we go to different trade shows, so I walked the floor, not just to talk to people, but to look at what they're giving away. We had the best stuff. Encore and our cities, we had the, hands down, the best stuff, and we heard that from several people. They were like, oh, you'll have the best things. So everybody was welcoming and collaborative. One other thing I have there that I met the Team Texas members. Team Texas is a group that travels with the Texas EDC, the TEDC. And it's a group similar to Encore. They travel together to bring awareness in these shows to Texas, and that we're open and ready to go. The lady there in the middle, in the maroon, she's a part of that. She's on one of their committees and has said that she's going to send me information to possibly, team up with them and join with them. There's a membership fee for that. I'll just have to see what that is. I don't know yet. And then travel with them to different trade shows as well, just to promote Texas and your city. So it's very similar to Encore. Let's see, my next steps, I'm going to follow up obviously on that direct lead that I have his card. I've got to maintain those new EDC connections. And we have the opportunity, I've been asked if I would like to go with Encore to Anaheim in February to the MD&M Plastic Show. So I'll have to get all those numbers together and bring that back to you guys if you think that's something that would be good for us to attend.
I think it'd be a great one because there's a lot of the stuff that they do at the Anaheim show that's medical related plastics, things like that. So that would not be a bad group to kind of, with the medical center up in Tyler and all the stuff that they do. Attracting one of those companies down here would be great.
Right.
Your,
That'd be wonderful.
your Big Spring contract is significant, and let me explain why. There's a guy named Brent Ryan who, he's a couple of years behind me in high school, but if you want to be elected for state office in the state of Texas, or if you want to be a senator, then you must have Brent Ryan's backing because he has the money. He runs a large accounting firm in the DFW area. One of his big deals that he did was Big Spring had the Settles Hotel, and it's one of the tallest landmarks out there. It was abandoned in the 1950s early and was in a complete falling down state of disaster. Bricks falling off of it. Kids would go on top of it and throw bricks to see how far they went in the concrete. It was that kind of deal. He managed to put together a funding avenue through Historical Association, through various grant money, whatever else, working with the Big Spring EDC, got some chamber money involved, whatever, and he piled up a great big pile of money and remodeled that hotel back to its original splendor.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you can look at it online, the Settles Hotel in Big Spring. It is absolutely a charming, beautiful place. I forget all the dollars that he put into it, but it was several million. You can go book events there. Everybody holds their proms there, their events there. The grand ballroom with the dual staircases You know, people have their pictures taken there all the time. It is literally the center point of Big Spring at this point, and it's a restoration of the old, and completely charming and beautiful. He even redid the pool, which is on, I think, the second or third floor. And, you know, he's responsible solely for putting all of that together. So he understands how to find money to do things. And he's very influential throughout the state of Texas. And he's
What's his last name?
Brent Ryan. He's very well known, and he's a homeboy from Big Spring. He's a good guy, very, very down to earth. But you can talk to our local representatives, and every single one of them know who Brent Ryan is. So if you make a good contact there, I don't know Brent that well. I mean, we knew each other 40-something years ago, you know, type thing. But if you're making a contact through Big Spring and working that direction, then that could possibly lead to some other doors like that. And so that's what you have to keep in mind when you go to these events, is that piece of networking can lead to some other things. And that's the reason I'm telling the story. So,
Right. Good to know.
Did you get a chance to meet with Shane Pace there? With Jacksonville?
Yes, I had met
Boring
him
story.
previously, so yes, he was there.
No, I actually think I know his name from somewhere else, but.
And I believe was Heather Ledbetter there? Okay, so Heather's gonna be, I think, the chair of Team Texas,
Okay,
their board. And then Wilson will be on their board
awesome.
this coming year as well. So we'll have two folks on, so that connection is really good.
Yeah, that'll be great.
and for the record, I really like the idea of attending trade shows. I think that is absolutely one of the best ways to increase visibility, to find prospects, and go far beyond what the retail coach can give us if we sit back and rely on that solely.
Right.
And I think it's good to connect. Every profession that I know right now, that's the way they're generating leads. That is a heck of a lot better than a cold call. And you may get, you know, you don't know what contacts you're gonna make or where those trails are gonna lead
Right.
as a result of it. So, you know, I say if you could figure out February or whatever else on these things, I think you should, you know, I think we should fund that and take care of it. I really do. We spent the money to, you know, buy the swag, buy all the things to set up the right booth, and that's the purpose of it, in my opinion. And to sit and do nothing with it is kind of wasteful.
It's wasteful, yeah, I agree.
So that's my opinion. I don't know if y'all agree with me or not, but I do think trade shows are important, they're valuable, and I think that's how we network today.
I would like, retail coach, kind of tying back into our last item, retail coach has asked, because if they go to ICSC, and they've asked me to go in the past, but it's not worked out, so they have another one upcoming. It's in a couple of months, I think, that they've asked me to attend and go with them as a part of their booth, so I can do that. But at some point, I think I need to have, like at an ICSC, have our own booth. You know, it be small to start with. I have my roll-up banner, I have things, I have swag. I think at some point I'm gonna need to branch out and we have our own booth. Probably at some place like that to at least to begin with before we get into like super big trade shows like a FabTECH or something. So,
And maybe, you know, in those kind of situations, maybe you can find out where their booth, you know, so that you could join.
I can be
this-
close by.
Right, next door type thing.
Yeah.
And that way you're networking together.
exactly.
But you've got the visibility, they've got the visibility, and it really reinforces the partnership with it.
What is ICSC, whatever it is you just said?
I think you were gonna ask. me that.
International Council of Shopping Centers.
Shopping centers, okay.
So it's really retail and restaurants.
I really like
Oh, that sounds fun.
Tom's comment a lot about anything that can get us into medical fabrication or things like that could build on the momentum that's happening in the area.
Entirely.
Flagstaff will have.
Well, you know, our demographics as we just saw, being a little better educated than a lot of other communities, with well over 50% of our population having a post-high school education of some sort. That is far above most of the state average. And so the kind of businesses that are permanent businesses that we're going to be able to attract are those that are going to appeal to that type of workforce.
Yeah, a little more technical expertise.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I agree completely.
You know, we're probably not the target for a true blue collar workforce, because our demographics don't necessarily fit that, honestly. It just, we won't have the workforce to support that in general. It would have to come from the surrounding area.
Yeah.
And come into Whitehouse to fulfill most of those jobs. Not, because really, if you look at it, only 40% of our population falls into that category, so.
I'm glad you had a good time. That's fantastic.
It was good the show itself was good, but it was nice. It was a nice trip as well. I got to go out and be with the other members of Team Texas, or not Team Texas, Think Texas. We did fun things in the evening. We took an architectural tour of Chicago, which was fabulous to see all the different boats. Boats. We were on a boat, so to see all the different buildings and hear their history and what's happening. I'm surprised at how much development is actually happening along the river there in Chicago. It was kind of nice to see. I would not have thought that. They've got, I can think of three places she showed us where they'll have new high-rise housing developments right along the river that runs through Chicago. And of course, we had to go see the Bean. Couldn't leave Chicago without seeing the Bean. And Encore took us to this little hole-in-the-wall Pequod's, I think is what, I hope I'm saying that right. Best pizza I've ever had. Chicago deep dish. Yeah, it was amazing.
We need to bring that here.
It's like, really, when I say it's a hole in the wall, it's truly a hole in the wall. I think it maybe sat 100 people, maybe, and it was a 2-hour wait. But we luckily for pizza. But Wilson had he had already made a reservation for us. So yeah, when we walked in, people were walking out, and they said, "If y'all aren't too hungry, it's a 2-hour wait."
I think Jerry and I would have walked somewhere else.
Put a little Caesar in your pocket just to get you there.
So, but yeah, no, they Encore treated us very well.
Okay, anything else on this? Moving on, consider future agenda items. I have one. I wanted to talk about reaching out to a discussion regarding existing businesses within the city.
Business retention type deal?
Yeah, more or less, but I don't want to limit it to just that. I'm trying to.
Kind of a survey or something, or what?
What I'm thinking is I want us to have a good conversation about if there are any opportunities for some of our local businesses to grow or expand, or any opportunities there that we could, possibly have a discussion about, and how we, might strategize having some of those conversations.
I'm for anything that will increase cash flow or anything like that through those businesses, which will help us.
And I just want to have a conversation about what we got right now, because I've always believed your best source of new business is your existing business that are sitting here right now.
Yeah, we need to have more contact.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna have a conversation about that and see what that leads to. Okay. Anything else anybody wants on the next agenda? I mean, obviously, I think we need the retail coach back on there, because we talk about that every time. But, anything else?
You know, I was kind of intrigued with that map showing how the expansion of our impact area goes so far south. And I know I don't tend to think of that area, but a lot of Whitehouse extends on there. Are there more land development opportunities further south on 110 than we thought about?
I think that's a good conversation that we can have.
Because it's pretty tight going north, and we always like to focus going north, but
Eventually,
if we're thinking forward, maybe we ought to be thinking about some of those less developed areas, whether we want to take a position somewhere. I don't know, just something to think.
Go ahead and put it on the agenda, we can have a conversation about it.
I wrote it down.
What's that?
I wrote it down,
Okay,
put it
terrific,
on the list.
Okay?
excellent, thank you.
Anything else? Those are good ideas. All right, reports from staff. And the Tyler Economic Development Annual,
Yes, that,
both of those.
I just wanted to, let me get back to my notes. I gave myself some notes. So just a few things, more like where we do our announcements at city council meetings. I put this over in reports. National Night Out is coming up. It's the event the police department does. It's a great event. It's October 7th from 5 to 7 here in City Park. The Tyler EDC is having their annual meeting and lunch on October 23rd. That's from 11:30 to 1 at the W.T. Brookshire Center, and I will have a table for the EDC. So put that on your calendars, and then I was also going to see if Leslie would give us an update on the City Center, the building itself. As you all know, we were supposed to do our grand opening today, which is not happening. So the grand opening has been moved to November the 6th from 6 to 7:30.
December.
November 6th. Did I say December? No. Okay, November.
Heard Ember, and I was like, December.
November 6th.
Yeah.
And you said from when to when again?
For the grand opening, it's from 6 to 7:30.
Send best wishes from Florida.
We are very confident in that date at this moment. At this moment.
good.
The flooring in the co-working space is complete, flooring upstairs is complete. They're finishing up the acoustical plaster ceiling in the banquet hall this weekend. Once that's complete, they'll go back and finish the flooring in the banquet hall. Furniture is set to start being delivered on Monday. They should be starting final concrete pours today and get those finished up in the front. They've set the foundation for the new monument sign that's gonna go out front. ACM metal panels have started going on the exterior. All the
How tall
things.
is the monument sign?
It's pretty tall.
How close is it to the road?
I don't know.
Underneath our lines?
I don't know.
Bigger than a bread box.
I don't know.
I'll talk to you about it.
Okay. But yeah, so a lot of progress happening. Just trying to get some of those finished details wrapped up. All the millwork inside is mostly complete. So
Okay.
I'm fully anticipating that we will be in the building prior to November 6th, but we wanted to go ahead and just set an event date that we were confident in. So we're excited. Tired, but excited.
I bet you are wore out.
And then sales tax report.
It looks great though.
And I can't wait for our community to see the inside of that building. I think it's something that I know I'm really proud of how that looks and what it's gonna do for our community. And I hope our community will be too. It's gonna
Along
be
with the
really
new White House sign.
along with our new sign at 110 and
That sign looks
346.
phenomenal.
People
Doesn't
were
it? It turned out-
overwhelmingly positive.
I
It's
know.
nice.
It was nice because I was a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie.
The lighting at night, I think, was a real plus.
Exactly,
Yeah, I think
exactly.
the feedback on it that I've gotten has all been really good.
It ended up being a really great way in honoring what was there, but kind of modernizing it a little bit. And I'm so glad somebody with a really good ability to envision that and carry it out, handled that for us because I was nervous.
Okay, yeah, let you,
Okay.
let you go.
So this is our sales tax payment trend report. We finished the fiscal year up 1% from the prior year, which was good. Any increase was good. I wasn't sure when we started this fiscal year that we were gonna see any gain at all. We're just hoping it wasn't dropping any. But this represents, I think, what did I say, Susan, a 38% increase since 2021. So while the last 2 years have been relatively flat, it's still significant growth over the past 4 or 5 years. So it's not bad news, just not
Right, right.
17% growth that we had a couple years ago. But
Well, if interest rates drop and the building really starts to take off again, we may be back on more of the growth profile.
Out of curiosity, is there any like correlation that you would typically draw from like growth rate to inflation or any other economic indicators like that? So like, is it standard to trail inflation by X%?
oh, I have no idea.
I do not know.
I can give you the Keynesian theory if you want that, but, or
Let's go.
Keynesian,
It's
depending
not
on
a
how you-
formula, so.
how you wanna, analyze the data, but, generally speaking, your, the amount of flow that the government puts into, the money supply trails by 60 to 90 days in general before it reaches the customer, which means it's going to trail by another 3 to 6 months behind actually being flowed back into the economy. So if you add all of that together, you're gonna be anywhere from 6 to 9 months before, even once a monetary policy change happens, before it actually, you see it in a retail basis. So like the cut interest rates now,
We won't see that for
you're not gonna see that for
9
6 to
months.
9 months.
Yeah, it'd be mid-next year sometime before we see the
Exactly.
impact.
Exactly, it doesn't just flip the switch and it happens. And by the same time, if they tighten it up, it takes that long to slow it back down as well, because of the money flow issues. So, the biggest impact to our sales tax would be to increase new business and to increase the amount of expenditures in a new growing location or an existing location, expanding and doing something to increase their flow as a result of it. We've added several businesses, but it hasn't offset the declining numbers through Amazon or whatever else, because there's been less disposable income for most families as they've had to tighten their budgets over the past couple of years. And that's what we're dealing with, in my opinion.
I was just thinking like, so if like you had your typical, economic indicators, pick one, pick your index.
Yeah.
Right, and if there was like some trend, does economic growth or investment or expansion typically lag that by that
Yeah.
6 to 9
6
months?
to 9 months, yeah.
So do you look for like a
But-
6-month trend and then say, okay, in another 6 months, we'll get it? You know what I mean?
You
That's-
almost have to look at year over year. You really do.
That's a long time.
It really is. It really is. And so what I'm seeing when I look at those numbers are that, yeah, we had the good years in 21, 22, 23, and then 24 fell off the cliff. But if you look at the comparison by month, as you look across there, you can see there's actually a surge on the monthly, still continuing upward this year. So that tells me that 2026 should be a better year for us. As I think you're gonna see the plateauing of, people finally got their expenses and they're hopefully have more disposable income to be able to order more boxes from Amazon.
I do my part. I do my part.
There you go.
I do someone else's part as well.
And,
We got plenty of Amazon hitting our house.
but that also goes directly to your Taco Bells and your Whataburgers and your, because when people have less disposable income and the price of a Whataburger has increased so much, they tend to spend less and they look for other sources to eat cheaper, so, you're still dealing with the fallout from the inflation.
Yeah.
Off of it, and inflation is eating those family dollars up, and, hopefully, if you get the interest rate down, then you'll see the disposable income come back up, and then you can, see the balance of that, but it's a trailing effect. That's my view.
Like starting off at a traffic light.
Right. So, that's my economic opinion based on reading Keynesian economics. Way too much.
Good job.
But it's a good question, and it's a very, very fair question. But if we could add a couple of more retail places, if we could get something that actually, some higher priced items that generated even greater income off of that, then that would help us even more. So in other words, if you're selling high-end shoes, for example, or clothing, or any
Medical fabricated devices.
fabrication devices, any of those kinds of things, and if you also attract jobs that pay higher wages, or you get people in your community that make more money and your average earnings increase, then that creates a bigger pool for spendable income, if you will. So any of those higher end factors are gonna have direct impact on your overall.
Interesting.
I can write this as a thesis if you'd like. Okay, good reports, guys. And I saw we even earned a little interest in the bank, so
I know,
good
right?
deal.
That was good.
Okay. Anything else on reports? Hearing none, I believe we have executive session here. So, correct? All right. So, the time is now 12:47, and this meeting is closed, and we will move into executive session.
Just half a minute to get,
Do I need to go close the doors?
I'll get them.
okay, thank you.
Okay. The time is now 1:09, and we are back out of executive session and back into our regular meeting. There is no action to take as a result of our conversation in executive session at this time. So as a result, at 1:09, we are adjourned.
Got to meet with your sweet girls yesterday.
I was gonna say, I heard that you met